I hope that this rally sends a message. I hope that the words of other politicians and people around the world will somehow reach the heart, will somehow change the heart of Hang Seng. Thank you. Best wishes. សូមអរគុណចាស់ខាងជួនលោកប្រធានព្រឹទ្ធសភានៅរដ្ឋវិទ្យាបាទគឺជាឱកាសដ៏ពិសេសណាស់ដែលគាត់ក៏មានសមានចិត្តគូពីរឿងទស្សនាយើងហើយបានស្គាល់ទាំងអស់ឯកឧត្តមដ៏សំខាន់ដែលបានជួយមកបាទឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំសូមអញ្ជើញលោករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីក្រសួងពហុវប្បធម៌ពួកគាត់ដឹងថាបងប្អូនមានការយកចិត្តទុកដាក់ចាប់អារម្មណ៍ពីរឿងទុកទីរបស់កំណើតរបស់ខ្លួនហ្នឹងគាត់មកនៅស្គីបានទេហើយគាត់មកឋានៈของគាត់តំណាងជារដ្ឋាភិបាលប្រចាំរដ្ឋវិទ្យានេះដូច្នេះ I just mentioned the minister I introduced you that you care so much profoundly គាត់ជាមិត្តចាស់របស់ខ្មែរយើងសង្គមខ្មែរយើងតាំងពីដើមមកសូមបងប្អូនម្ចាស់ផ្ទះតៃមកវិញខាងទូស្វាគមន៍គាត់
អរគុណជំរាបសួរFirstly, I'd like to thank Hong Lim, my parliamentary colleague Bruce Atkinson and Julian Hill for being here today, and Yu Horn Shia, and I'm sure Heng Tak is here. I have to say, on a very personal note, I've worked a lot with the Cambodian community over many years, and my heart breaks for the people of Cambodia. Cambodia's tragic history should be happier. The people of Cambodia deserve better. Freedom, as Bruce was discussing, freedom, democracy, the rule of law, a free media, lie at the heart of what we have here in Victoria and Australia. And Cambodian people deserve the same. People deserve to be able to freely elect the government of their choice. They deserve not to be beaten because they have ideas which the government disagrees with. They deserve not to be killed because they advocate for human rights. They deserve not to be locked up because they're too popular and they have a threat to an incumbent government. We here enjoy rights which we value, and as Bruce indicated, we have a free transition, a peaceful transition of power. If my party loses the election, we're not happy about it, of course, but we honourably hand over, and so same with our opponents. And that transfer of power is a necessary thing for a democratic system. We all know that that does not exist in Cambodia. And the people of Cambodia, if they elect the opposition, they don't have the same right to have a free election or a free debate or even the opportunity to vote for the candidates of their choice. We all know that to be true. And it's a terrible truth. A truth that hangs over millions of people, survivors of genocide, who deserve democracy, freedom, deserve to have a free media which they can have the free expression of ideas and debate, deserve to have the rule of law. So the rich and powerful are subject to the same scrutiny and the same laws as the weak. Everyone deserves human rights. And in the world today there is a debate essentially between a nationalist autocracy and democracy, and liberal democracy and democratic values. And I have to say, here in Victoria, we believe in liberal democratic values. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in people's free expression of ideas, and we believe in democratic elections. And we will stand with the Cambodian people here in Victoria and across the world, because this debate has to be won by the better angels of our nature. People deserve freedom. They deserve the right to choose their own government freely and to be ruled with their own consent, not because people have enough violence to impose their will. Here in Victoria, we will stand with the Cambodian community through this difficult time, and we'll help in whatever way we can to ensure the voice of democracy, freedom, rule of law, the freedom of the press is always at the forefront. And let us hope for a better day when people don't live in fear, where violence doesn't trump the free democratic will of people, and people live under governments they have freely chosen themselves in Cambodia and around the world. Thank you very much.
អ្នកនិយាយបន្ទាប់ពីលោករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីនឹងគឺកញ្ញាអ៊ីសាប៊ែលស្កាប៊ីស្គីគាត់នឹងជាលេខាធិការរបស់អង្គការគេហៅថា International Commission of the Juries បានបើយើងបកប្រែជាខ្មែរគឺថាជាគណៈកម្មការអន្តរជាតិខាងផ្នែកមេធាវីបាទមេធាវីគឺជាអ្នកដែលសិទ្ធិជាមេធាវីខាងច្បាប់អន្តរជាតិហើយគាត់បានដឹងពីរឿងគាត់បានមកធ្វើបន្ទប់មួយឆ្នាំរបស់លោកកែមលីហ្នឹងគាត់បានជួបយើងខ្ញុំហ្នឹងគាត់មានការយកចិត្តទុកដាក់គាត់បានណាត់ជួបមួយយើងខ្ញុំហៅប្រធានរបស់គាត់មកជួនហើយបានចាប់ផ្ដើមធ្វើសកម្មភាពជួយយ៉ាងខ្លាំងពិសេសក្នុងចាក់តនការធ្វើយ៉ាងណាឲ្យគ្រួសារអ្នកស្រីប៊ូរចនាឬគ្រួសារលោកកែមលីនឹងបានមកឆាប់បានប៉ុន្តែគាត់មានគំនិតរំលាយច្រើនគាត់មានកិច្ចគូរៀងរំជួបបានថាយើងត្រូវធ្វើយ៉ាងណាដើម្បីដាក់សម្ពាធទៅលើរដ្ឋាភិបាលអូស្ត្រាលីនេះឲ្យយកចិត្តទុកដាក់កាន់តែខ្លាំងលើសពីមុនហើយធ្វើយ៉ាងណាដើម្បីឲ្យការពិភពលោកទាំងមូលហ្នឹងហើយពិសេសគឺរដ្ឋាភិបាលហ៊ុនសែននឹងយកចិត្តទុកដាក់កុំធ្វើអំពើពៀនអំពើប្រេយផ្សាយអំពើដេឆាននឹងតទៅទៀតបាទដូច្នេះសូមបងប្អូនមេតាអញ្ជើញស្វាគមន៍អ៊ីសាប៊ែលស្កាប៊ូស្គីfrom the RCC
Thank you very much for having me here today, and thank you all very, very much for being here in support of these very important causes. I want to start by bringing your attention to some things that are very, very obvious to all of us. Things that are so obvious that normally we don't need to talk about them, but today we need to talk about them. First, here today, nobody will be arrested for attending this rally or speaking at this rally or even organizing this rally. Even if we were speaking about the Australian government, we would not need to be afraid of being arrested. Secondly, I can turn on the radio, I can turn on the TV, I can open up the newspaper or turn on the internet and find out what my government is doing. I can find out what they're saying in Parliament, I can find out how they're representing my interests, and if they are not representing my interests, then I can lobby for change and encourage them to take my interests into account. Thirdly, none of us are likely to be stopped as we're driving home by a police officer waiting at the corner and ask us for $20 or $100 and not give us a ticket and not let us leave until we pay them. Nobody here has to worry about the lands being stolen by the government and sold for their profit. Here, all of our children can go to school and get an education and write their exams, and they don't have to pay the teachers to get a seat in the classroom, and they don't have to pay the teachers to sit the exam and to move on to the next grade, because the government in the public education system pays the teachers. And mostly here, no matter how hard things are for you, no matter how difficult it is, you will never get to the point where you have to or you can sell your daughter to a brothel in order to pay your own debts. We cannot say these things in Cambodia. And the reason these things are like this here is because the government here protects children. They guarantee a right to education, to health care. They pay the police, firefighters, teachers. They work to protect the safety and well-being of the people who live here. This is why we give elected officials the power that they have, is to protect us. That is what a government is for. So why do Khmer people in Cambodia not enjoy these things when they have a government? Is it because, as Hun Sen says, Cambodia is a poor country and it cannot afford it? No, Cambodia is not a poor country. Cambodia has received $10 billion in aid money alone over the last 15 or 20 years. It has enjoyed fantastic economic growth every year, 8%, 10%, 12%, since 1995. Cambodia is a country where a minister in the national government earns, now with the new wages, just over $1,000 a month. And yet he owns a house in downtown Phnom Penh where property is sold at $3,000 a square meter, and he has a house as big as a city block. Cambodia is not a poor country. Cambodia is a country that knows war. It is a country that has felt a lot of pain and has seen a lot of violence and a lot of horror. And there will be people here today who know too much about that. I worked in Cambodia for 8 to 10 years with young people who were born after the Khmer Rouge, but who also know too much about Cambodia's pain and the consequences of living in a country without the rule of law. And I lived in Cambodia for long enough to see it change. And the changes that I've seen in Cambodia can be described by the image of these young people who I know and who I love very much. When I first knew them 10 years ago, they were scared, they were uneducated, they were hurt, they protected themselves and were afraid to go outside. And now, these people are leaders in their community. They are providers for their family. They are strong, they are smart, they are fearless, and they want more for themselves and their family and their country than they are getting. 10 years ago in Cambodia, people didn't speak about politics in public. And now they march in the streets. I was there in 2013 and 2014 when 20,000 people marched down Monivong Boulevard to protest their government, demanding increases in wages for workers and civil servants. I saw young people and I saw old people on that march. People who lived through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, who know very, very well what violence their governments are capable of. And they were there, and they were raising their fists against the government, and they were holding up their signs of the white crocodile demanding change. And this is exactly what Hun Sen is afraid of. It's people who know what they want and people who are not afraid to demand what they want. But Hun Sen has never had to govern like this before. He knows only one way of ruling, and that is by force, and that is over a frightened and a hurt population. When Hun Sen came to power, people didn't have expectations of their government. They just wanted to not be killed by their government. But now, people want more than just to survive. People want to live. People want to live and have a livable wage. They want access to education. They want meaningful employment, regulation and oversight of services, industry, professions. They want courts that will enforce their rights, judges, and members of parliament they can trust. But Hun Sen does not know how to lead a strong population, and so he tries to keep the country weak. And he is trying to do this by shutting out ideas, by shutting out information, by stopping communication, by shutting out leaders who listen to what people want, and members of parliament who try to govern in the interests of democracy. But he cannot win this way. He cannot win by brute force. This isn't 1997. He can send tanks into the capital again, but it won't stop people wanting freedom and safety and education and opportunities and democracy. Tanks will not keep out the vision that people now have in their heads about what Cambodia can be. Not today. Democracy is about the free exchange of ideas. In this country, we don't have a lot of human rights protection, but we have one civil liberty that is not written down, and yet it is law in this country, and that is the freedom of political communication. Because without this kind of communication about politics and about ideas, there can be no democracy. Now, I venture to suggest that as long as there is communication about politics, about ideas, about what people want for their country, then there must be democracy. And Hun Sen cannot kill communication. He cannot kill the need that exists today by Cambodians for accountable governments, for real opportunities, for security, and for freedom. And so this is your role right now. This is, as Cambodians living in Australia, this is your responsibility, is to keep information flowing, is to keep communication about ideas, about democracy, about the country that you want here and in Cambodia alive. It may be the case that your friends and your family in Cambodia cannot post something on their Facebook page about what they want from their government. But you can. You can post those ideas. And your friends and your family in Cambodia can remember what it is that they're fighting for. Hun Sen cannot break the democratic spirit that has grown so strong in Cambodia. And he cannot quiet Cambodians' hunger for real freedoms and real opportunities. He cannot do that as long as you don't let him. Thank you very much.
That was an incredible speech, Isabel. Thanks so much for your speech. So, mình đã tiếp tay qua bên kia bạn. នេះគឺជាអ្នកដែលធ្វើការស្រុកខ្មែរ7-8ឆ្នាំហើយដែលបានដឹងបានឃើញដូចជាគាត់និយាយមកគឺចេញពីគាត់ឲ្យបេះដូងគាត់ពីស្ថានភាពស្រុកខ្មែរដែលគាត់ឃើញថាតើនឹងទៅមានស្ថានភាពទៅយ៉ាងមុខទីយ៉ាងណានោះគាត់ថាเป็นសំខាន់របស់តួអង្គសំខាន់គឺយើងទាំងអស់គ្នានឹងទៅជួយធ្វើឲ្យប្រតិបត្តិពលឹងភ្លើងកំហឹងនឹងនៅតែឆេះតទៅមុខទៀតបាទសូមបងប្អូនមានចិត្តឲ្យស្អីបងអាចចិត្តឲ្យអរគុណគាត់ម្ដងទៀតបាទឥឡូវនេះគឺលោកស្រីរដ្ឋមន្ត្រីស្មៅខាងគណៈបក Labor នៅកងបរាហ្នឹងគឺលោកស្រីក្លែវនីលបានជើញមកគាត់ត្បូងធម្មតាមកបានទេដោយសារពីខែកំណើតកូនខួប1ឆ្នាំរបស់កូនប្រកួតប៉ុន្តែគាត់ដឹងថាបងប្អូនមកទីនេះដូច្នេះគាត់ក៏មកដែរគាត់បានពេលដែលយើងធ្វើបញ្ជូនប្រតិភូទៅកងបរានឹងគាត់បានទទួលបានរៀបចំឲ្យយើងទៅជួបនៅរដ្ឋសភាហ្នឹងដើម្បីជួបប្រធានរបស់គណៈបកប្រឆាំងជួបនឹងរដ្ឋមន្ត្រីសម្មាខាងក្រសួងការបរទេសនិងលោកផេនីវងហ្នឹងជាដើមហ្នឹងគាត់បានធ្វើច្រើនណាស់សម្រាប់យើងទាំងអស់គ្នាដូច្នេះសូមបងប្អូនទៀតឲ្យស្វាគមន៍លោកស្រីក្លែវនីលបាទMay I just advise our very important friend here, the Honourable President of the Bruce, Elizabeth, and Claire, and the Minister gone, that this is not just one single demonstration rally against Hun Sen's dictatorship. But in America, we know at least 5 cities, starting from Boston down to Lowell in Minnesota, and down to Washington, D.C., and all the way to Long Beach in California and San Francisco, and up to Tacoma and Seattle. So around the country in America. And also in France, there are 2 places, in Marseille, and also in Paris, in Monaco, and then also in Brussels, in Luxembourg, and in Berlin, in Germany. បាទដោយសារសូមបងប្អូនមេត្តាស្ងាត់គោរពនៅការដែលគាត់មានប្រសាសន៍ហ្នឹងដើម្បីគេដឹងថាយើងយកចិត្តទុកដាក់ខ្ញុំក៏ជម្រាបថានេះគឺជាចលនាពេញមកទាំងលោក and also in New Zealand they're doing it next week. I understand both in Christchurch in Auckland. Now we just so very pleased, clearly I just told our people that how much you have done. You will be relentless in terms of making your presentation and pointing out and the many things that you're doing on behalf of the community. So you have the microphone now. Thanks so much.
So today, everyone, and I want to acknowledge the venerables that are here today, and I want to acknowledge the community leaders, Hong Lim, of course, Yu Horn Chia, and the many other leaders who are here with us. And I want to acknowledge you, this incredible crowd of people who are here today again, standing up and protesting against what has become a completely unacceptable abuse of human rights that we've seen in these last few weeks in Cambodia. Now, I was very lucky recently to host a group of community leaders and some of the venerables in Canberra recently. And that group came to Canberra because they wanted to speak directly to members of parliament about what is going on at your homeland in Cambodia. And we did this on the first anniversary of the brutal assassination of Dr. Kem Lay. Now, I was very lucky to meet Dr. Kem Lay when he came to Australia. He was a charismatic person and someone who was such a strong advocate for the human rights that we are all here trying to defend today. I was so shocked to see that this assassination occurred just in the street in Phnom Penh. And here we are a year on, and I am so sorry to see that things are continuing to deteriorate in Cambodia. Now, what you are doing today is so important and it's so meaningful. Hong has talked to me previously and again today about the fact that this is an organised protest of people around the world. Cambodians who are standing up and saying that their brothers and sisters at home, their families at home need us as Australians, as people who are your neighbours and community members around the world to stand up and say that enough is enough. And that's what we're here to do today. Now, I just want to say for the record that as a representative of the Australian Labor Party, as a representative of this community here in Springvale, what is going on at the moment in Cambodia is unacceptable to me as a person. I know it is unacceptable to you as Cambodians living in Australia, and we need to push the Australian government to stand up and more strongly say that this is unacceptable to all Australians. Now, I just want to say I think that the work that you're doing to advocate for your families at home is so important, and I'm so glad that you're here standing up for what you believe in. What we know is that Hun Sen wants to try to crush the spirit of Cambodians. I know that that is not going to happen because the things that people in this crowd, the things that people at home in Cambodia have been through are terrible. But what keeps happening is the Cambodian spirit keeps fighting through, and you push and you push and you push, and things have gotten better. And what we need to do is marshal the people around the world who are going to fight to build that free and fair democracy that we know that Cambodians deserve, and we know that that fantastic country can be. So I want you to know that I am right here with you. Anything that I can do, I will be doing. I will stand up in Parliament next week and I will talk to members of Parliament. To those who don't have perhaps Cambodian communities in their electorates and may not realise what's going on. But Cambodia is a very special friend, a very special neighbour of Australia, and the Cambodian people, our wonderful community here in the local area, deserve something so much better, and that is what I'm going to continue to fight for. And now I'll just say something very brief in Khmer, if you'll bear with me. Yuhon helps me. Yeung Cho Samaku, Kino Chia Muisak, Hak Kum Khmer No Protest Australia Team Teyut Tor Sitik Momus Ner Kabos Chon Doi Sarai Noing Yut Tor. Okun, thank you very much everyone.
យើងតាមធ្វើបានប៉ុន្តែយើងដឹងព្រលឹងស្មារតីដែលគាត់ចង់និយាយភាសាខ្មែរនេះគឺវាច្បាស់លាស់ទៅតាមភាសារបស់គាត់សូមចាំបងប្អូនទៀតតែសាសាជូនបងអរគុណសំឡងទៀតបាទហើយសូមplease thanks every speaker here again សូមអរគុណចំពោះអ្នកដែលបាននិយាយទាំងប្រមាណនឹងអស់លោកដែលសំខាន់បាទសូម thank you all yeah ឥឡូវខ្ញុំចូលមីក្រូហ្វូនទៅបងខូនវិញមិនដឹងគាត់មានកម្មវិធីយ៉ាងម៉េចទៀតកាន់តែជំរាបបងប្អូនថានេះគឺជាចំនួនដ៏ច្រើនលើសលប់ដែលពួកយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលមកក្រៅផ្ទះនៅក្រៅ hall ដូច្នេះគឺថាបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងទាំងអស់ឃើញហើយនៅភ្នំពេញក៏ឃើញនៅពេញប្រទេសកម្ពុជាទាំងមូលក៏ឃើញនៅប្រទេសទៀតក៏ឃើញបើនិយាយចំទៅថាដូចជាការប្រកួតប្រជែងគ្នាជាមួយបងប្អូនយើងនៅនេះសមុទ្រនៅប្រទេសផ្សេងៗទៀតនឹងចង់ប្រកួតដាក់គ្នាថាតើណានឹងប្រមូលគ្នាចេញមកច្រើនជាងទាំងថាមិនមែនមានថាយើងស្រឡាញ់ជាតិយើងជាងគេដូចតែហ៊ុនសែនណាគាត់ស្រឡាញ់តែម្នាក់ឯងជាងគេនោះប៉ុន្តែយើងស្រឡាញ់ជាតិយើងស្មើគ្នាប៉ុន្តែយើងចំនួនមកចំនួនច្រើនដូច្នេះយើងគុណនឹងចំនួនទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងទៅយើងប្រហែលជាច្រើនជាងគេមែនទេសូមសរសើរតែដៃសាគូអានអត់ទៀតបាទ ผมเอาคนนะบ่าคือถ้าเป็นไอ้ในขนมกระหาระบอบประเทศไทยนั่นเป็นไอ้แต่เชียงแต่กี่คืนจำนวนนึงเท่บ่าหายเนี่ยแต่นโยบายพิเศษในสองนี้กระดาษคืนจำนวนกี่คลาดกี่กระดกหากี่ยศจะตกดะหากี่กอดถึงกว่าโดยชนะการระบอบองค์จีนมองนี่คือเจียซ่ามวยจะทมนะสำนับในสองนี้พองให้สำนับแต่อันนี้สมรพองสำนับบางปองยืนพองหาพิเศษบางปองยืนในสกมาแต่คลิปอาจจะคือตอนเธอบานในมันยืนตอนจีนเมาหนึ่งหรือทางหนึ่งมีการยศเป็นจัดถูกจัดถูกกับทรมานยีมาเดินทางมาพยาสามาทักทรงบอกอนในกระนั้นช่วยฟองใจปวดกวาดตีนปึ้งแต่ยืนอายกระดับปวดยืนอามินรัตเพียบแต่เธอหายืนออกเนื้อกบาลยีจังกลับที่ตะวันตะมานี่นะว่ายืนมันเธอเตยืนมันพยาสาเตคือเธอยืนตะตูพอใจทุนนักยืนมันอาจกินล้วยืนอาจจะตัวใบบานตัวบัวเตโดยเฉพาะการบางของเธอนี้คือการเลือกตัดจัดให้บังท้ายในสมาในกระทำดอกพงพวกกกูบิสอบเตะยืนก็ทำมันโดยแต่ปีมันมอเตะกิจการยืนเพลย์อะไรยืนเหมือนเพลย์เตะบ้างคือเชียร์สักใครเพียงในการสนาเชียร์ในการกกูยืนดันซอกยืนไปใจโดยการลุกใจอิสบาลจะกบาสกินก็มามีศาสตร์ยังก็มาคือไงต้องคลายอักรอเตะบ้างคือถ้าคือเนี่ยแต่ตัวจ้านั่นเถื่อนกรอมันได้ที่โรงเรียนมีอย่างสมบูรณ์ดังนั้นยืนมองนี่คือทำไปนั่งเป็นเจงเป็นตอนในการมันสบายเจ็ดในการแต่ยืนจำบานสอบเยอะบางไทยทองคงครัวโดยกีโดยไอในชมเป็นสอบเตียนคือถ้าอะไรอาจจะยังไม่คือถ้าอาจจะชื่อร้านน้องในรัฐสอบไทยกับสอบยูนกับสิงคโปร์จำนายเลยเชื่อเหมือนเต็กเชื่อบิดใบรอยเจ้าบุญรอยเลียนเดล่าเจ้าบ่าวเลยยังโยมาเถื่อนแปดยังบางไทยชโนแต่ไม่ก็มันเถื่อนว่านี่คือเรื่องจานนะแต่จะดีเยอะถ้ามันจะจบมันจะหายจะเรื่องคลายก็หายแต่เรื่องอ่อนจับแต่เรื่องปวดเข้ามาเรียนดังนั้นเข้มชมจูนมากระพนแต่ลูกบอลจีจูฮอนเพราะฉะนั้นเรื่องมวยแต่จ้องจุ่มเรียนสู่บางคนมีตั้งมันน้ำเนี่ยแต่สำคัญของกรมยืนเดียวมีในบทในเป็นนี้เด้นอกคณะยังตั้งในบางคนที่บางยืนนักกว่าลูกตะเมงเฮียงบางเจียไตตะสบายครองในที่นี้ปัจจัยก็จดรูปก็พิจารณามาแล้วก็จดรูปแต่ถือเป็นการในตัวที่จันมาก็เตยนั้นคือพวกกรองสปริงเวลนั้นที่มีกระดาษเกียบบางพระองค์จมูกกรองมวยในสุสานในประเทศจันนั้นไอ้กอดเตยจมูกสบายกรองก็มันได้การเตยได้บางในเจริญที่มวยหายก็เตยน้องเตยตรงนี้น้องอเมริกาศาสนาจมูกกรองมาเกี่ยนึงให้ในเป็นจะที่มีเป็นกิจกรรมตัวเป็นจม้ามีจำนองตัวเป็นจม้านั้นแต่มีมาจากยูฮาวที่ใช้ก็ต้องเป็นการเงี้ยบอกว่าก็สมพรำพิจารจูนโปรเจบางพระองค์สมออกคนบางพระองค์เขาได้หรือสมบางพระองค์มีจากเจ้าได้ก็มูเจ้าว่าอันที่เรา knowledge that hearing attack is on a municipal mission with the mayor in his sister city at Suzhou. So because we went up, you notice somebody here missing, and they all named him. So that is how popular he is and how highly regarded, highly respected he is. So we wish him well, and he's been sending message that he been very guilty. He wanted to be here. We can feel his presence here, and we know that he's strongly missed. Okay, I give the microphone to you, Hon.
សូមបងប្អូនមេត្តាលើកបដាហើយនឹងលើកពាក្យស្លោកបាទបន្តិចទៀតសូមស្រែកឲ្យព្រមគ្នាបាទដោះលែងគោរពហ៊ុនសែនអើយsafe សេរីភាពប្រជាធិបតេយ្យ$23 ត្រូវគោរពយុត្តិធម៌ឈប់គំរាម ឈប់គំរាមយុត្តិធម៌យុត្តិធម៌យុត្តិធម៌យុត្តិធម៌យុត្តិធម៌យុកម្មសកាយុត្តិធម៌យុត្តិធម៌យុត្តិធម៌របបផ្ដាច់ការរបបផ្ដាច់ការរបបផ្ដាច់ការដោះលែងដោះលែងដោះលែងបាទសូមអរគុណសូមទេដៃមួយល្អណាស់បាទខ្ញុំមែនតើខ្ញុំលោកហុកលីងបាននិយាយអស់ទៅហើយនិយាយពីរឿងសិទ្ធិសេរីភាពអ៊ីសាបែលក៏បាននិយាយដែរហើយជាផ្នែកមិត្តជិតស្និទ្ធរបស់យើងលោកស្រីឃ្លាវនីលក៏បាននិយាយអំពីកិច្ចការដែលគាត់បានខិតខំធ្វើហើយដឹងថាបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាហ្នឹងគឺថាយកចិត្តទុកដាក់គឺវាមានការពិបាកចិត្តក្នុងការដែលប្រទេសជាតិយើងហ្នឹងធ្លាក់ទៅជារបបប្រេងផ្សាយឡើងវិញបាទតាមនាមខ្ញុំជាប្រធានសហព័ន្ធខ្មែរអូស្ត្រាលីខ្ញុំមិនអាចអត់ទ្រាំនៅស្ងៀមបានទេយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាត្រូវតែមកធ្វើបាតកម្មដើម្បីឲ្យហ៊ុនសែនដឹងថាយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាមិនចូលចិត្តនៅរបបដាច់ការរបៀបនេះទៀតទេបាទឲ្យឈប់គម្រាមកំហែងអ្នកដែលកាន់លទ្ធិប្រជាធិបតេយ្យដូចជាអេដាមសំសារីសំរងទីហើយនិងអេដាមកឹមសុខាយើងដឹងហើយអេដាមកឹមសុខាបានមកវត្តពុទ្ធរង្សីម៉ែលប៊នធ្វើសន្ទរកថាហ្នឹង 3-4 ឆ្នាំមុនត្រឡប់ទៅវិញអត់មានចាប់អីទេគឺស្រួលបំផុតដូចជាត្រឹមត្រូវអបិចិត្តស្រាប់តែថ្ងៃណាមួយដែលគេជ្រាបបោះឆ្នោតគេថាក្បត់ជាតិអ្នកណាជាមនុស្សក្បត់ជាតិហ៊ុនសែនបាទហ៊ុនសែនជាមនុស្សក្បត់ជាតិអ្នកណាដែលកាន់កោះត្រល់យកទៅឲ្យយួនហ៊ុនសែនបាទបងប្អូនគឺដឹងច្បាស់ណាស់អ្នកណាដែលកាន់ទឹកដីយកទៅឲ្យយួនអ្នកណាដែលក្បត់ជាតិនឹងហើយវានឹងហើយជាអ្នកក្បត់ជាតិដូច្នេះយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាគឺយើងនឹងចាំច្បាស់ណាស់អាណាអ្នកណាមនុស្សណាល្អមនុស្សណាអាក្រក់បើហ៊ុនសែននឹងវាមានសេចក្តីក្លាហានវាជាទាហានគួរណាស់តែធ្វើការបោះឆ្នោតទៅកុំមកប៉ាកែបញ្ចេញសាច់ដុំតែគ្នាឯងទៅដល់មិត្តយួនគេនោះអោនលំទោនមើលខ្ញុំគេអញ្ចឹងអាមនុស្សខ្ញុំគេគឺណាបាទហ៊ុនសែនគឺខ្ញុំគេអាហ្នឹងគឺឲ្យដឹងឲ្យច្បាស់អាហ្នឹងគឺប្រាប់ទៅហ៊ុនសែននោះគឺតែហ៊ុនសែនគឺខ្ញុំគេកាត់ទឹកដីឲ្យគេបាទគិតកាត់ទឹកដីឲ្យមិត្តរបស់វានោះអាហ្នឹងហើយដែលខ្វាយទាំងអស់គ្នានៅទីនេះដែលគេក្តៅខែណាស់គឺគេខឹងសម្បើមណាស់អាហ្នឹងត្រូវឲ្យដឹងឲ្យច្បាស់បាទឥឡូវហ្នឹងនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាហ្នឹងយួនចង់ចិត្តពាក់កណ្ដាលហើយអាណាដែលឲ្យយួនចូលទៅដោយសេរីហ៊ុនសែនបាទហ៊ុនសែនទៀតគិតទៅខ្លួនវាហ្នឹងគឺមនុស្សក្បត់ជាតិបាទហ៊ុនសែនក្បត់ជាតិបាទគឺយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាយើងដឹងហើយគឺថាអាក្បត់ជាតិហ្នឹងគឺហ៊ុនសែនហ្នឹងហើយដូច្នេះយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាយើងត្រូវឲ្យចាំឲ្យច្បាស់ហើយយើងប្រុងប្រៀបជួយបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលរស់នៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាយើងត្រូវតែហ៊ាននិយាយទៅប្រាប់បងប្អូនយើងមុនពេលបោះឆ្នោតបើគ្មានគណៈបកការសត្វរស់ជាតិឈរទេគឺមិនបាច់ទៅបោះទេឲ្យទៅយកទៅប្រហែលលានអ្នកហ្នឹងយកទៅបាទយើងកុំទៅបោះយើងមើលខាងបោះឆ្នោតទៅទៅហើយហ្នឹងមនុស្សប្រមាណលានអ្នកដែលចូលខាងគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិវាប្រហាក់ប្រហែលនឹងរបស់វាដែរដូច្នេះបើវាមានតែក្តីក្លាហានត្រូវតែដោះលែងកឹមសុខាដោះលែងលោកសំរងស៊ីដើម្បី ធ្វើការបោះឆ្នោតដោយលទ្ធិប្រជាធិបតេយ្យដោយប្រទេសអូស្ត្រាលីនេះការបិទសិទ្ធិសារព័ត៌មានហើយនឹងរ៉ាឌីយ៉ូ15ត្រូវបិទវិទ្យុអាស៊ីសេរីវិទ្យុ VOA អត់អាចចូលទៅប្រទេសខ្មែរបានទេ Cambodian Daily បាត់ទៀតអ្នកណាដែលគេហ៊ាននិយាយអំពីការពិតនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាទាំងប្រមាណគឺវាបាត់អស់ហើយដូច្នេះតាមនាមខ្ញុំជាប្រធានសហព័ន្ធខ្មែរអូស្ត្រាលីខ្ញុំសូមផ្ដំទាទោសហើយនឹងសម្គាល់ទុកថាហ៊ុនសែនគឺជាមនុស្សក្បត់ជាតិបាទសូមអរគុណហើយពេលដែលបងប្អូនត្រូវការចូលប្រគល់អីគឺសូមមេត្តាចូលទៅកន្លែងខាងនោះហើយមេត្តាចុះឈ្មោះចំពោះលោកសំរងស៊ីដែលបន្តិចទៀតហ្នឹងគាត់នឹងអញ្ជើញមកនៅថ្ងៃទី23ថ្ងៃសៅរ៍ទី23គឺម៉ោង8ព្រឹកគាត់មកដល់ចំណតយន្តហោះម៉ែលប៊នបើសិនជាបងប្អូនចង់ទៅសូមមេត្តាកត់ឈ្មោះដើម្បីយើងបុកបាសទៅជាមួយគ្នាបើចំនួនតិចគឺថាយើងទៅតាមវែងបាទហើយម្យ៉ាងទៀតគឺថានៅថ្ងៃអាទិត្យទី24គឺមានពិធីជប់លៀងមួយបន្ទាប់មកគឺយើងមានថ្ងៃ23ដែរគឺនៅវត្តពុទ្ធរាំងសីបាទមានការតំណែងជួននៅឯកឧត្តមសំរងស៊ីបាទសូមអរគុណសូមចាត់បាយឲ្យគាត់មួយទៀតបងខ្ញុំជាមេដឹកនាំដល់ចាស់ទុំយើងស្នើមួយរបស់យើងបាទគាត់ធ្វើការបញ្យុបពេលថ្ងៃរៀបចំនេះគឺថាមិនមែនជារឿងទូតាទេគឺថាហត់នឿយច្រើនហើយគឺដូច្នេះក្នុងពេលនេះដែរគាត់ជាអរគុណនៅសមាជិករបស់សមាគមខ្មែររបស់សហព័ន្ធខ្មែរក្នុងគណៈកម្មការកណ្ដាលនឹងមានច្រើននៅមានវត្តមាននៅទីនេះហើយសូមអរគុណអ្នកស្ម័គ្រចិត្តទាំងអស់ហើយខ្ញុំដឹងថាមានអ្នកដែលស្ម័គ្រចិត្តនាំយកនៅភោជនីយដ្ឋានមានទឹកមានគ្រឿងញ៉ាំអីទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងសូមអាចារ្យចាប់ដៃសរសើរអរគុណគាត់ម្ដងទៀតបាទអានេះគឺជាពលរដ្ឋស្មារតីដែលតបទាំងតាំងពីពេលដែលលោកកាន់លេខក៏ស្លាប់ហើយមានបងប្អូនយើងចេញមកនឹងផ្លូវនឹងបកគោដាក់ទឹកដាក់អីដាក់ម្ហូបដាក់នំប៉ោដាក់បាយដាក់អីដូចជានៅការសម័យដែលយើងធ្វើបាតកម្មនៅទីធានប្រជាធិបតេយ្យអញ្ចឹងជាដើមបាទខ្ញុំបាទជំរាបអីជំរាបតទៀតប៉ុន្តែគាត់ជំរាបបងប្អូនថាខ្ញុំដឹងថាឥឡូវនេះនៅស៊ីដនីហើយនៅអាដាលេដនេះគឺកំពុង live ហើយគេឃើញយើងទៅវិញទៅមកគ្រប់គ្នាទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងដូច្នេះឥឡូវចាក់ដៃសរសើរពួកបងប្អូនយើងថាស៊ីដនីឥឡូវយើងតែមួយអានេះឲ្យជាកម្រិតជើងយកស៊ីដនីហើយខាងអាដាលេដនេះគឺរលុះរលាយខាងតំបន់ណាគឺថាគ្នាតិចទេប៉ុន្តែគឺថាជាអ្នក10ឆ្នាំបំផុតហើយតែមានអ្នកដឹកនាំតែប្រឹងប្រែងធ្វើខាងតំបន់មកចេញជារូបជាភាពច្រើនណាស់ដូច្នេះឥឡូវនេះថាជើងយកអាដាលេដគេកំពុងឃើញយើងហើយ live គេយើងក៏ឃើញគេ live ដែរដូច្នេះគឺជាវត្តគឺជាតែមោទនភាពដ៏ខ្លាំងបំផុតដែលថានេះគឺជាកណ្ដាលជាការចាប់ដើមដំណើរទាំងអស់គ្នាទៅកាន់គឺថាសេរីភាពខ្មែរទៅកាន់ភូមិវប្បធម៌សំទោសពហុសេរីបករបស់ខ្មែរយើងដែលពិតប្រាកដមិនមែនថាទៅការគម្រាមបង្ហាញនៅដបងនៅកំភ្លើឬក៏សម្រាប់គម្រាមវាយបាក់មិនបាក់តែបាក់ជាងដបងគាត់នៅតាមនេះតែកណាហ៊ាននិយាយដល់ប៉ុណ្ណឹងត្រូវលៀលែងឬក៏ទៅកដេញចោលឬក៏ទៅឈប់ធ្វើការប៉ុន្តែយើងឃើញថាហើយតាំងតែពីអីណាអីចវាយអីបវត្តហ្នឹងតែបាញ់សម្រាប់បាញ់ធ្វើពីការដល់ក្មេងស្រី3នាក់នៅខាងកម្មករចាក់នៅបវត្តហ្នឹងគឺថានៅតែគេតាមធ្វើចិត្តគេហើយអ្នកទៅតវ៉ាទៀមទៀតនៅគ្នាមកផ្លំមកទឹកដីយកគ្នានឹងគឺឈូសឆាយគ្នានឹងចាប់ពីដាក់គុកយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាមកថ្ងៃនេះយើងរំលឹកនឹកគិតពីនឹងពីអ្នកដែលបានស្លាប់ដែលបានពុះពៀតាំងនាមដោយថាគ្នាស្លំបានថាជួយតគ្នាស្លំបានថាគ្នាទៅតែការពារប៉ុន្តែគឺថាដោយសារការប្រព្រឹត្តអំពើសាហាវថាចលនាហ៊ានចេញមកឬចាប់ដូចជាយើងចាប់ប្រវត្តិឬដាក់ទៅឡានដោយសារដូចទៀតកណ្ដាលធ្វើតាមគ្រូបួរឲ្យផ្សាយធ្នូដល់អភិរិយខ្លួនឯងជាអ្នកគេថាជាអ្នកច្បាប់ជាអ្នកអនុវត្តស្វាងគេគ្រូបួរទៅគេបោកស្រីនៅលើឡានដែលអីយ៉ាងចឹងឬក៏ឈូសឆាយចឹងហ្នឹងដោយសារដូចគេថាគេហៅជាឆានខាងគេខាងទៀតតែបងប្អូនគេមើលដេឆានឬមិនដេឆានដេឆានឬមិនដេឆានដេឆានឬមិនដេឆានបានចឹងហ៊ុនសែនអើយហ៊ុនសែនអើយហ៊
คนใจเลยคือถ้าเมียนขมักเมียนเอียงอะไรนึกทางก็ต่อไทยทางหนุ่มกินกระโดดในตอกทำติดบางคนก็เมื่อตาควรยืนถอดมาตอกทำติดเองยืนจังตอนแต่มันไทยที่กับมาเพราะฮันนี่ให้มันยืนมาแล้วนี่ไทยนี่บ้างแล้วนึกยังไงถ้าดับชามหรือบางคนจะทำอัดเต้นะดับชามหรือดับชามหรือดับชามหรือคนใจเลยคนใจเลยยืนมานี้จำใบจังเมียนบานยุติธรจำพวกอาดัมแคมเลยโดยเฉพาะยุติธรปัญญาทางนี้จะทำคำพูดคืออาดัมกำสกายุติธรเมียนการเรียบจำตามระยะระบอบตัวเงินมากุกมานั่งตามระยะระบอบจีอยู่หอนั้นคือท้าสมชนะยืนเรียบจำแต่ตัวไอ้ดำสำรังสีในดาวเบียกับปลาหอกให้ไอ้มันที่ยืนเทินจังก็อะไรนั่นแหละจุดเทียนบอกขนาดปลาก่อนแรงก่อนเรียนเต็มขนาดปลาเทียนปัญใต้ยืมมันเตยเอาคือท้าสับผิวเบี้ยอักระสาเอายุงคลองนึงคือกระผมบักตะเกิดและทิพย์เทียนสับเตยบายุงตีหอยลูกซ้ำรังสีนึงกันในแต่เจ็บเพลิงบรรลือปฏิบเกี่ยวกับหัวเจ็บเพลิงและช้าๆกับนายสถิตเสรีเพียบกดต่อสู้มาถ้าเทียมมาไพ่ช้าคำชนะที่เนี่ยดักนอนกระปะน้องมันนู่นนี่แต่สิ่งใดเกิดใจในสบาลวันนี้ก็เท่าอย่างตัวกลุ่นปัจจัยก็ให้ไอ้ก็มีมันโดยก่อมีมันโดยมูลหัวมาพิษาเราเลยว่ามีมันโดยสมชายแต่ปีออสเตรเลียแต่ให้มีมันโดยเนี่ยเตี้ยโดยจะลองตาเลยไปมันจนนวลชาญเตี้ยแบบเตี้ยพิษาเราเลยนั่นคือเลี้ยบ้องในการจิ้วเพียบแต่ตกรำนะครับแต่อย่างสู้อย่างงี้นั้นคือทางเต้ทัวการต่อสู้คือโลกดังท่าเชียดบักเกนขมายบักเกนดึกบองโอนออกนี้นั่งเบียร์รำจังพอยังดังอยู่เธอนะยังจะขึ้นสิ่งพัวที่ไปที่ทำไมตกไทยสบายยืนนั่งตะเกียยังอาจทัวบางความอาจจะหนึ่งติดปัญตาให้ไอ้บางที่เป็นพร้อมทัวบักเคิร์ขึ้นสมันเพียรเตะยังจอกเจนใจเอาเกเนี่ยบอกเนี่ยเตะยังสาวบอกเตะใจจะสอบออกเนี่ยแต่ไปยังเธอเตะเอาบางเอาเลยเตะเนี่ยอาจจะค้างเป็นเก่าไกลยังไงแล้วนี่ยังดังไทยยังเอามีตกไปบางเตะเบียร์โอโจมาหายเอาเวียนหนึ่งในหายแต่ซามีนมันรู้มันเนี่ยนั่งหันกลมนั่งได้อันนี้เอามีนพูดนั่งมีหลักเพียงอย่างจังเอาเด็กนะตอนนั้นที่เนี่ยขบเทียบเดี๋ยวนั้นที่ขบเทียบเดี๋ยวนั้นขบเทียบเด็กนะการเดี๋ยวยังมาเรียกจำจุดเรียนนั้นคือจิกาอมปิวนิวเอามาเตะอยู่บอลในน้องชั่วเราบอกขณะปะนั้นก็เอาขึ้นลังเวงยืนน้องชื่อท่าโดยไอ้ตามซอกแค่นี้นึงจะด่านแต่เก็บดูแต่ท่าไปจะซ้ำลงเชียงให้ยังตั้งทางเขาดับบองโกนทมหรือว่านั่นก็ได้คนมานานนึงมีการจุ่มตัวจุ่มมวยในพวกครัวนึงเราก็มีการแจกกับเพลงไอ้นั้นดึงดังดึงมานึงคือท่าคงเปรี้ยเลยก็มีการชั่วเชิญในน้องชั่วเราบอกกรมเนี่ยได้กระทำจุดการตกมายืนหายคนใต้ได้ยมแบบดีบางนันเตียนทากาใต้จิตจับลูกกำสคาดองกำค้างปะหาจิกาปรมีนดอกกำปะปัวตุสอบเข่งทักษะปัญญาอันคือหายตัวเจ้านาก็ได้โดยเฉพาะการได้ยืนจริงมาตอนนี้คือยืนความโปรและจ้องนาในคนเริ่มเนี่ยแต่สนาหาจิตเพื่อประกอบแต่กิจตรวมได้บ้านให้จมพวกกองกูสามหนึ่งพวกยึดตั้งห้าบางพวกนั่งให้ไอ้บางจิตการนั้นที่ปลุกซีจุ่มเริ่มเชิงเชื่อจะเรื่องตึกใส่จังกับโปรคลันบังเพลงในตกไม้นั่งมาวิชาหรือชนะการแต่จบเป็นจังหนึ่งทั่วการโคตรขับพอปัญญาจอกรุงเกครูตาเกปักปูเกมาประมาณเนี่ยจะก็มาเนี่ยนั้นพอยืนเคยได้โอเคฟังกำกายเนี่ยแต่เป็นนังเป็นนายในตกใจคือหล่อให้หล่อหามคือลูกการอะไรนั่งไอ้แต่เจงมาพระยืนที่ห้องดาวเสียทางไปฟังพี่ร้อยในบางองค์มายืนนั่นนะโดยลูกชายอิสบาเนี่ยขยันนึกว่ายืนทางตกมาแล้วก็พุ่งจำนวนหน้าทางการเราดำปลาผมใบพี่อ๋อแล้วเปรียบเทียบตึงตีคือสมบัตินะปันใต้สมบัติสมัยแต่พูดเนี่ยมีน้องเท่ว่ะสมบัติแต่พูดเนี่ยมีน้องเท่ต้องเสียงนั่งกินลูกสมบัติแต่เนี่ยมีน้องเท่ปันใต้เนี่ยครองนึงแต่ครองให้ยืนอาเธอกับมาก่อนลูกการไล่แต่ประมาณก็ปรับที่มันชั่วไปจังอ้อมันดูนี่คือพิเศษสมบัตินะก็เหมือนจะเจ้าประกันก็เหมือนจะเจ้าประกันปัญหาประคุปัญหาอะไรก็เลยมีการตัดสายกดบ้านตะคืนมาเลยที่ในเกมมันเพื่ออภิวัตในชุนหนักบาดตะคืนอย่างไม่แล้วก็ทางยึดอายุของรู้เรื่องมาอาชีพบ้านตามบ้านเราทางครองมาครูซาแต่งทันแต่ปั๊มปอนตัวละแบบยึดจำนวนใจให้ปัญหาลุยแต่ผมว่ามาเอาวิ่งผมมันเอาทางยึดแต่เธอใจออกลุยสิให้เพื่อคือบรรทองต่อตั้งเอาบ้านจางครูซานั่งมีจอระนานคือแต่ดูใช่บ้างให้อากมนึก ដែលយកលុយទៅណាទទួលថវិកាទៅឲ្យឃុំសង្កាត់ទាំងអស់គុំសង្កាត់នឹង1646ហ្នឹងគឺជាគំនិតរបស់លោកកាន់វៃហើយគឺគាត់នឹងឯងដែលបានស្នើថាទៅឲ្យមកឃុំមកសង្កាត់នឹង$1 លានប៉ុន្តែគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិនឹងកោមកកាត់ដំណងរបស់លោកកាន់កម្មសខានឹងគាត់ថាពេលយើងបថុយសន្យាទៅត្រឹមកន្លះលាននឹងសិនបើធ្វើទៅគឺបានតម្លៃបានល្អតែយើងគួរតម្លៃឡើង$1 លានហើយ$1 លានបាទកន្លះលានហ្នឹងគឺបងប្អូននឹងយ៉ាងម៉េចទេកន្លះលានហ្នឹងគឺស្មើនឹងលុយដែលគេលួចលាក់ពីព្រោះថវិកាជាតិដែលគេទៅអនុម័តចុងក្រោយនេះបងប្អូននឹងមិនទេគេទុកឲ្យលុយ$834សម្រាប់ចាយតាមអំពើចិត្តពីអង់គ្លេសគេហៅ discretionary fund តែមកថាតាមអំពើចិត្តលុយបោះស្តុកបោះទេបោះជាតិយើងហ្នឹងហើយអាហ្នឹងគឺជាប្រាក់ពន្ធដារដែលយើងឃើញថាបានមកជំនួយកៅហ្នឹងដែរអាពន្ធដារដែលពួកគេអត់បង់តសងគ្រប់បែបយ៉ាងទាំងអស់យើងហើយតែគ្រប់បវីនេះវាដែរបានសាយរហូតដល់លោកកាន់លេគាត់យកមកនិយាយឡើងវិញហ្នឹងគឺរហូតដល់សម្រាប់គាត់ហ្នឹងអានោះយើងមិននិយាយទេគឺរាប់ពាន់គេប្រមាណគេថាមិនតិចជាង$4,000 លានក្នុងក្រុមគ្រួសាររបស់គេហ្នឹងបាទតែក្តាប់ដូច្នេះអានោះវាតែថាមិនបាច់បង់ពន្ធដារអានេះអាទៀតហើយមិនដាក់កាត់ផ្ដាច់មុខរឿងទួលខាងសាវិយាខាងប្រេងកាខាងអីយើងទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងឆ្នាំពេទ្យទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងគឺគេគ្រប់គ្រងទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងគឺគេក្តាប់ស្របយន្តដល់អស់មានបាត់បង់ពន្ធដារហ្នឹងហើយតែពន្ធដារដែលយើងដឹងហ្នឹង800នេះគ្រប់គ្រាន់យ៉ាងគ្រប់គ្រាន់$800 លានហ្នឹងសម្រាប់យកទៅធ្វើអភិវឌ្ឍឃុំនីមួយដែលយើងនិយាយហ្នឹងបាទបើមិនយើងឈ្នះបាទដូច្នេះនេះក៏យើងចាប់ឡើងពីហ្នឹងមកបើធ្វើបោះសន្និកាលនឹងយើងឈ្នះយើងនឹងអភិវឌ្ឍសុខភាពយើងនឹងបានយ៉ាងស្រួលហើយជំនាញបន្តទៅទៀតគឺតាមឡើងដល់$1 លានហើយឥឡូវនេះគ្នាខំធ្វើអត្តខិតហ្នឹងជីកអីណាជីកតែបន្លាយបង្ហូរទឹកអីឬអីអាលូទឹកនេះតាម100ទៅណាជាង30ឆ្នាំហើយអត់ធ្វើទេដល់គេមកធ្វើ100រៀលទៀតអាហ្នឹងអាណាក្បត់ជាតិអានេះអាណាក្បត់ជាតិធ្វើតែលូទឹកស្រួយហ្នឹងក៏ចប់ក៏100រៀលដែរហើយខ្លួនឯងអត់ធ្វើទេលិចទឹកឲ្យទាំងនៅពេញទាំងនៅទុកថាហ្នឹងគេសប្បាយគេណាគេឃើញចឹងព្រោះដើម្បីឲ្យយើងរវល់គិតតែពីរឿងទៅដូចថ្ងៃគេធ្វើឲ្យរឿងរវល់យើងរវល់ឲ្យរឿងផ្សេងទៅអារឿងជាតិអារឿងតែសំខាន់អារឿងតែពិតប្រាកដអារឿងតែជាក់ស្ដែងតែត្រូវធ្វើគឺយកអត់ធ្វើទេហើយគេទៀមទាឲ្យយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាហ្នឹងឲ្យបងប្អូនយើងនៅស្រុកហ្នឹងថាណែបោះថាឲ្យខ្ញុំទៀតទៅដើម្បីខ្ញុំនឹងអត់ធ្វើតទៅទៀតតែយើងព្រមទេយើងព្រមទេដូច្នេះយ៉ាងម៉េចហ៊ុនសែនអើយឥឡូវនេះទៅតែមួយខាងទៀតឲ្យប្រទេសខ្មាស់គេផងហ៊ុនសែនអើយឥឡូវខ្ញុំថាខ្មាស់គេផងហ៊ុនសែនអើយហ៊ុនសែនអើយហ៊ុនសែនអើយខ្មាស់គេអស់មកផែនដីហ្នឹងបងប្អូនព្រោះគេដឹកគេដូចទាំងអស់គេខ្លាចគេខ្ពើមតែទៅចាប់ដៃគេជំរឿថាអ្នកខ្លាំងប្រមុខរដ្ឋដល់ថាមកគេថាគេទៅវិញគេលៀងដៃគេភ័យអស់មកគេខាត់ឆ្លងជំងឺហ្នឹងបាទវាហួសហេតុចិត្តវាហួសពេកហើយគាត់អាចធ្វើបានខ្ញុំជំរាបបងប្អូនមួយទៀតកុំភ្លេចអត់សោះពីឆ្នាំ1991គាត់អញ្ជើញមកអូស្ត្រាលីនេះហើយលោកអតីតរដ្ឋមន្ត្រីក្រសួងការបរទេសកាត់អេវិនដែលជាអ្នកជួយបង្កើតឲ្យមានកិច្ចចរចាសន្ធិសញ្ញាក្រុងប៉ារីសហ្នឹងគាត់នៅរួមសម្ងាញ់ហ្នឹងហើយគាត់កាលហ្នឹងខ្ញុំជាប្រធានសមាគមខ្មែរគាត់ទាមទារឲ្យខ្ញុំទទួលលោកហ៊ុនសែនក្នុងឋានៈជារដ្ឋមន្ត្រីសំទោសនាយករដ្ឋមន្ត្រីពីប្រទេសកម្ពុជាកម្ពុជាពីរបបខាងនៅរបបយួនគេគ្រប់គ្រងហ្នឹងបាទហើយដូច្នេះខ្ញុំតែធ្វើពេលកាលនោះពួកសម្ដេចហើយនៅពួកពលរដ្ឋពេញវិជាខ្ញុំស្វាយួនខ្លួនខ្មែរហ្នឹងពេលនោះណាគេឆ្លាញ់គាត់គ្រប់គ្នាពិសេសខាងគណៈបកខ្ញុំគេចាប់ទុកគាត់ថាជាមនុស្សសំណោកពាក្យអង់គ្លេសថា the darling right of the left គេគ្រប់គេឆ្លាញ់គាត់ប៉ុណ្ណឹងគេឃើញគាត់ជាអមទុកទៅហុកខែទៅហើយលេខទឹកគេឃើញគាត់ស្លៀកខោខ្លីហ្នឹងទៅវាយវ៉ាលេបលជាមួយកូនអ្នកស្រែជាមួយអីហ្នឹងគឺជាមនុស្សអញ្ចឹងហើយឥឡូវជាង30ឆ្នាំក្រោយមកតែជាមនុស្សផ្សេងទៀតដែលគេមិនអាចទ្រាំបានគេថាមិនគេមិនឆ្លាញ់គេខ្លាចគេធ្វើគេជៀសវាងគេគិតដូច្នេះហើយហ៊ុនសែនអើយខ្ញុំដល់បងប្អូនអាចจะមានច្រើនណាស់ចង់និយាយប៉ុន្តែយើងខ្ញុំថាអាចគល់ឲ្យបងប្អូនវិញព្រោះខ្ញុំគ្រាន់តែចង់ជំរាបបងប្អូនចេះហេតុដែលនាំឲ្យយើងត្រូវតែទទួលលោកសំរងស៊ីដល់វារបស់អស់គឺដើម្បីយើងចង់ផ្ញើសារមួយពេញមកពិភពលោកថាយើងមិនអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យមនុស្សដែលសំខាន់មនុស្សដែលស្នេហាជាតិមនុស្សដែលតស៊ូដើម្បីជាតិនឹងក៏ត្រូវគេជិះជាន់គេចិញ្ច្រាំគេថាមើលងាយប្រមាថងាយហើយតក់ចោលទៅតាមអំពើចិនបានទេបាទ ដូច្នេះខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍គឺថាក្តុកក្តួលសម្រាប់ណាដែលបងប្អូនមានចំនួនច្រើនថានឹងទៅដោយតែបងប្អូនបានទៅទទួលខ្ញុំដល់វាកប៉ាល់ហោះពេលដែលខ្ញុំត្រឡប់មកពីបេសកកម្មនៅប្រទេសចិនវិញនោះហើយគឺថាដោយសារបងប្អូនចង់ធ្វើការគ្រប់គ្រងឲ្យដឹងថាខ្ញុំមានបងប្អូនយើងទាំងអស់ស្មារតីរបស់ខ្មែរយើងទាំងមូលនឹងនៅកាយប្រទេសគ្រប់គ្រងហើយសម្រាប់ពិភពលោកទាំងមូលនឹងគឺគ្រប់គ្រងបាទដូច្នេះយើងធ្វើនេះគឺមិនមែនដើម្បីតែសម្រាប់លោកសំរងស៊ីម្នាក់ឯងទេយើងធ្វើនេះគឺដើម្បីខ្លួនយើងធ្វើនេះដើម្បីឧត្តមគតិរបស់យើងធ្វើនេះគឺដើម្បីមោទនភាពរបស់ខ្មែរយើងសូមអរគុណបងស្រីម្ដងទៀតដែលដឹកនាំភេសជ្ជៈមកចែកចាយសម្រាប់សូមអរគុណណាបងបាទសូមចាត់ដៃថាជូនគាត់មួយទៀតបាទហើយខ្ញុំដឹងថាមានមីងខ្លះនៅខាងក្រោយនឹងមានតាំងពីមហូបមហាអីរបស់បង្អែមពេកកប៉ុកនឹងច្រើនដើម្បីជួយជាមានបាយដំណើរហើយពីមុននោះមានតៅស្រួនអីនោះសបស្ដាយជាមួយនឹងចាក់ខ្វាយបាទចាក់ខ្វាយនោះលឿនជាងគេគឺថាអស់មុនដូច្នេះខ្ញុំទៅដល់អត់ទាន់ទេបាទខ្ញុំនៅតែនឹកខ្ញុំទៅនឹកក្នុងគ្រុកនៅស្រុកខ្មែរខ្ញុំទៅនឹកថាជាចនិចទីការប៉ុន្តែសង្ឃឹមថាថ្ងៃណាមួយយើងទាំងអស់នឹងបានកលេងហើយបងប្អូនតែមិនដែលនិយាយជាគេខាងប៉ុណ្ណឹងពីប្រាក់យោជីស្បែកឆ្មាគេហើយគាត់ក៏មានចូលចិត្តឲ្យច្រើនជាងខ្ញុំទៀតដូច្នេះប្រហែលជាពិបាកប៉ុន្តែអត់អីទេបាទពលកម្មរបស់យើងគឺថាដើម្បីបបផែនជាតិដូច្នេះសូមបងប្អូនមានឡងទៀតចាក់ដៃសរសើរខ្លួនឯងហើយអរគុណខ្លួនឯងយើងជាឱកាសនេះមិនដឹងថានៅអឺរ៉ុបនៅអាមេរិកដែលធ្វើជាមួយគ្នានឹងដែលកំពុងធ្វើនឹងមិនដឹងគេឃើញមកយើងទេយើងប្រហែលជាយប់នេះយើងនឹងសាកបងមើលហើយប្រហែលជាផ្សាយឲ្យគ្នាទៅវិញទៅមកហើយយើងជឿសង្ឃឹមថាអ្វីដែលយើងខំប្រឹងប្រែងធ្វើនឹងគឺបានជោគជ័យហើយជាសារបង្ហាញបច្ចៈពីការកម្លាំងចិត្តគ្រប់គ្រងគ្នាទៅវិញទៅមកពលកម្មបងប្អូនដែលអញ្ជើញមកទាំងល្ងាថ្ងៃល្ងាយ៉ាងអញ្ចឹងហើយសំណាងល្អហើយគេថាភ្លៀងផ្នែកលើអស់ភ្លៀងគឺថាបង្ហាញនៅទឹកចិត្តយើងនឹងនៅឥឡូវហ្នឹងគេថាយើងត្រូវច្រៀងបទណាទៀត3បទរបស់យើងបងប្អូនមានកណ្ដាប់ស្នាមទាំងអស់អញ្ចឹងឥឡូវអ្នកមេច្រៀងសូមជិញអ្នកមេច្រៀងចេញមកម៉ាលីមានក្មេងៗថាសម្លេងអ្នកចម្រៀងតែប្រឡងចម្រៀងមកកណ្ដោអញ្ជើញមកមើលឥឡូវអ្នកប្រឡងចម្រៀងគេមកណោះណាសុទ្ធតែអូខេThey're going to sing some patriotic songs. This is going through the age, it's not just now going back. Ba số bọc con này để chơi ha, xôm chơi trôn mà bà, xôm mà chui cái niệm con mà. Tông lan kia tiết bom dàn kho con của trai trai ai giúp đấy nó bán chén sòng sai tổ tê chén lại trong bó xanh xa bom trai tua sân nặng với kia ai dọ phật xa kia cô ca đẹp mát phải tấu
ខ្មែរយើងឲ្យបានរុងរឿងជាថ្មីឡើងតាមសាវតា
អរគុណបងប្អូនឥឡូវបទបន្តនេះគឺបទជនជាតិខ្មែរបាទ
ជនជាតិខ្មែរកើតនៅលើដីខ្មែរយើងត្រូវខំតែជាតិឲ្យបានរុងរឿងតែយោជានឹងគុំការតែសាខ្មែរគុំដល់ពេលណាជួបគុំយើងថាមកដល់លោកជាខ្មែរឲ្យមកទេពីលោកខ្មែរខ្មែរបាយសាមគ្គីគ្នាឲ្យមកគង់វងបានយកព្រោះតែយើងសូររួបរំគ្នាគ្រប់ប្រាណកសាងទៀតដោយក្តីក្លាហានលោកជាតិនឹងបានគល់ក្តីរុងរឿងដីខ្មែរត្រូវតែបានឯងឲ្យបានរុងរឿងតែព្រោះជាតិនឹងបានកំតានលោកតាតែយើងចេះតែរក្សាជុំបីខ្មែររុងលោកទេណាជុំគុំលេងតាទៅតាមនងជាខ្មែរកុំឲ្យមកទេពីមកខ្មែរឲ្យខ្មែរនិងខ្មែរបាយសាមគ្គីគ្នាអ្វីមកទេចំណាយប្រាំតាមកាយឲ្យយ៉ាងណាយកគុំលេងពីមកខ្មែររឿងไรណាតាំងពីមករនឹងជាតិនោះគង់វងបានយកតែយើងសូមរៀបគ្រប់ប្រាណក៏សាមជាតិតែក្តីក្លាហានដូចជាយ៉ាងបានគល់ក្តីរុងរឿងដូចជាយ៉ាងបានគល់ក្តីរុងរឿងដូចជាយ៉ាងបានគល់ក្តីរុងរឿង
បទនេះពីបទហ្នឹងឯងដែលខ្ញុំមានឥឡូវមានបងប្អូនណាមានបទអីផ្សេងទៅចង់ចាក់ទៀតទេបាទ
ដែលខ្មែរប្រែថាសុវណ្ណភូមិតែដីខ្មែរប្រែថាសុវណ្ណភូមិម៉ែក៏ព្រមរំលាយកថាต้องปีโบราณไม่ได้ตกการตัวกรมสามัคคีในมวยเรียนกับเราประตูสายมาประกายมันจันโปรทีวีสั่งสังเกตเทียมโปรและโปรสตีแบบคงมีเรือคงคงเทียកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យបានគ្រាទីតុងខ្មែរបានសង់ទាំងអស់គ្រប់អាត្មាសូមទេវតាឲ្យប្រសពសាទុកាព្រះមហាក្សត្រយើងក្រុមក្រមឯងដៃមនីយាសថានរៀនបាតនកំពីបុរាណមិនយើងគ្រប់បានគួរគ្រូនសាមគ្គីថ្ងៃមួយមានសត្រូវប្រទូសាយមកប្រកាយស្មានចិនប្រជីវីចិនសង្គ្រាមជាមស្រលែស្រកពីព្រះគុំនេះរំគង់ជាកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យបានគ្រាទីតុងម៉ែបានសុំទាំងអស់គ្រប់អាត្មាសូមទេវតាឲ្យសរសសាទុកាព្រះមហាក្សត្រយើង
mình miền nè to và tha thò chẳng thò tới khơi kia là bút đẹp nè bố phải như thò tha đẹp bạc cam đồ lý Việt Nam nè chân tay thử thơm mấy cho nó ngon nè ô con là to ba là hô thả thót ba là kia phần nâng cho cái nông tại ngon nè
bà cầm trâu ấy bà bốn này không không chuôn nó còn cõi tụi bây khơi chi trán bà chỉ chơi thâu trung binh bà chỉ đồng môi bà thâu không bay mất bà chặt ngay mất bà nói ngay bà ngay không cho ta mà cái cõi đó bà khơi chi trán bà
nhặt lên khỏi đang khỏi mà được khăn nó nông chua nè hay con ăn lấy mũi kia ăn dân dễ tí tí vậy của ấy thử lấy dân thử lương chung bên thì không lo vậy ta là con này lương lạ luôn con đã lót nó khỏi bên con bài nó ba đấy của con tha con ngay con đã bài nó nè mày đá của con đã bài đã lót đi chứ dùng xong từ thằng một mình
làm thọt bị lừa đúng không bà khơi cho cô hả bà đây bị chăng đôi kia chăng
chăng bên đó nghe bên đâu này không không
Lý về cắt camera vào đây đi
khơi là cô không lên mây là con mà dây mà thằng một họ à sập chặt
Lý cắt camera vào đây đi
to là thằng nó cho thục kia để mà để sao để cho nó kìa đây là con lò. Con lên lại ăn nhé. Con lên. Con lên. Con lên.
ខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណចំពោះបងប្អូនទាំងអស់ទាំងវេនទាំងចាស់ទាំងប្រុសទាំងស្រីដែលបានអញ្ជើញមកចូលរួមនៅថ្ងៃនេះគឺនេះគឺខន្តីរបស់បងប្អូនទឹកចិត្តរបស់បងប្អូនដែលគូសដែលជ្រុលឡើងបាទហើយខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណចំពោះខាងទាំងអង្គដែលបានយកទឹកយកមកចែកហើយបងប្រីដែលបានខំធ្វើនុកត្រៀមហើយនឹងអ្នកដែលធ្វើមកពីព្រឹកមិញហ្នឹងគឺយកផ្លែឈើយកអីហ្នឹងយកមកជូនបាទគឺថាទឹកចិត្តរបស់បងប្អូននេះមិនអាចរកបានទេដូច្នេះខ្ញុំសូមប្រកាសពរជ័យសិរីមង្គលទៅដល់បងប្អូនទាំងអស់ទេត្រឡប់ទៅវិញឲ្យបានជួបតែសេចក្តីសុខសេចក្តីចម្រើនអាយុយឺនយូរហើយជាពិសេសគឺខ្ញុំសូមឲ្យបងប្អូននឹងបានទទួលជោគជ័យខ្ញុំជឿថាខ្ញុំលោកខំសខានឹងជាត្រូវបោះលេខហើយខ្ញុំជឿថារំបងហ៊ុនសែននឹងត្រូវបរាជ័យហ៊ុនសែនលើហ៊ុនសែនលើហ៊ុនសែនលើបាទសូមអរគុណបងចំពោះបងប្អូនដែលចង់ទៅទទួលហើយដល់បំរាំងទីលោកបំរាំងទីសូមមេត្តាចុះឈ្មោះមក7វត្តឡើងមកត្រូវចេញពីសមាគមខ្មែរដល់កន្លែងនោះគឺមក8ហើយគឺទៅមក7គត់ដែលចេញសូមជួបជុំគ្នានៅសមាគមមក6មក6ដល់បានស្រួលយើងចង់ស្រួលហើយម្យ៉ាងទៀត